No beep. Okay, fair enough. We're going to add a script tag. And as always, we just link it to something, right? So I'm going to make a new folder, call it JS. Inside that one, we're going to make a file called main. And then we're going to link it up. Okay, so this main file, it will grab the data. So let's start by defining it in a function. We don't have to do this, but this will make it easier for us. We're going to call it getData. When we get data, we use this fetch function that we had on the theme 5. It looks kind of like this. If I go back here, I have my data. This is my endpoint. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Then comes the horrible part. When you have made a connection, how do you want the data? When you have all the data, what do you want to do? I want to call a function. These 3 lines of code, I love line 2. I understand line 2. Fetch something for me. I hate line 3 because that's really abstract. And I'm not sure I fully get it, but that doesn't matter. I know how to use it. And then when we're done, do what? We're going to call it show books. So now we have a function that is called. It calls show books and it passes along some data. I'm missing an S, thank you. Let's add this one as well. So this function just receives some data. So if I go and say console log data, let's see what we have. So I should be on index, I should say live preview, and we should see how much breaks. Let's refresh. Okay, first off, I made the oldest mistake in the book. What do we remember about functions? I have to call them. I have to call the function, right? I have defined 2 code names that I can reuse, but I'm not using them. So I have to go and say, call the function get data. Back and refresh. Let's just close this one. So now I have 4 posts. Technically books. Great. So let's go back to index.html and say, let's define that template. Now we can go back. This is kind of like reverse engineering. We can go inside our WordPress installation and say, okay, which fields did we have? What do we want to put in here? I'm going to go with an article with a class of book. It's going to have an h1. It's going to have, so what I'm producing now is the list view, right? The list of all the articles. So it's going to have a div with a class of excerpt. It should have an image. And I need one more advanced thing, a price. So it should say something like, here comes the price. That's our template. So back to JavaScript. When we have the data, now we're ready to go. Remember how the data came down to us? It was an array. We had these hard brackets with 4 items inside it. This hard bracket means array. When we have an array, we loop through it, right? That's for each. And there are so many ways to do this. But first off, document.querySelector. I'm going to grab the ID of what did I call it? Template books, book template. Okay, we've done that before. We're just a little bit rusty, right? Now we create a clone. Should probably spell that right. So it's template.clone node true. So the true part, remember that part? Do I want to clone all the children as well? The H1, the image, the paragraph? Of course I do. Now we need one more thing. We need a place to add our content. So I'm going to make a section with ID of list. This is where I want all the books to come. So let's grab that one as well. We could call it parent, we could call it list. Okay, so that's going to be the parent of each item. So we can go and say list.append child, and it's called clone. So when I go and refresh now, we can see the $sign. That's kind of cool. That actually means something is working, right? That was the only thing I had in my template. If I go and look at the elements, and brackets has really messed this one up, we can see we have the list, and inside that we have one thing with class book. Okay, not there yet. All of this stuff, I have to do this stuff 4 times, right? Because I have 4 books. We don't know how many books we have, but we're going to do so by using the array. So for each we can do a lot of stuff. We can say for every item, we can call a function called show single book, and then we can take this code and move it. Or, as you might have seen, we can say I have one item and I'm going to call a function. This syntax is horrible, but it's so short. Let's write the easy way first. So you remember that JavaScript accepts anonymous functions that doesn't have a name. So I can say, take the data for each item in the array, call this function, and give me the book. So now I have 4 books. Data contains 4 books for every item. Call this function and give me 1 book at a time. In this case, I called it the book. I could call it a book. I could call it Jonas. I could call it whatever. So let's remove this console log and say console the book. Back and refresh. So now we can see I have the items one at a time. Okay, so I can put this back in, the thing I had in my clipboard. Now when I run it, it runs the cloning and the appending 4 times, which means if things are great, I get 4 $signs, right? That's all I have. Okay, then comes the fun part. Now we just need to append the data. Right. In the title, we put the title. In the image, we put the image. So this is actually the hard part. Now we have to navigate these JSON objects. So first up, I need to find the title. We have so much stuff in here. It should look somewhat familiar. Okay, here we have the title, right? We can also see inside title we have something called rendered. So let's see if we can make the title work. I'm going to zoom out a little more if that's okay. Okay, first up. Inside clone, we search for something. Remember how I marked up the title? So the title is now called title. And then I can go and say title.textContent equals to something. So as a test, I always do this. I just say, hi, mom. Save, back, refresh. Okay, not good enough. We need to find something inside the book. Dot. This dot means, okay, open the object, and then dot what? So I'm going to go down and find dot title. If I look at dot title is an object, so I also have to go and say dot rendered. Dot rendered. Save, back, refresh. Okay, now we have the simplest possible setup run. We're still missing a few things. We had the excerpt. I'm going to copy this line. I wrap that in something with a class of excerpt. Can I spell that? I can. Now we have to find it. Find the content. So back, we're looking for the excerpt. There. It has two properties, protected and rendered.
So what is protected?
I don't know. But in WordPress, you can set stuff as public, as password required, and various stuff. Could be something with that. So it means it's excerpt.rendered. The book.excerpt.rendered. So now we have the content.
And if you put also protected, it works anyway? Or
I have never used protected. There is so
you can
much
just
stuff to
skip
this.
it,
I
basically.
just skip it. The main thing I see is, this is not nice. See this one? Because it contains HTML. Text content does not accept HTML. But text content has a friend called inner HTML. Oops. Which says that whatever content you're getting, display it as HTML. So now we should have nice paragraphs, even a working link. Nice or nice, right? Okay, let's tackle the hard ones, and we have 6 minutes to do that. I need to find the image, and I need to find the price. So once again, we go and expand our object. I'm going to zoom out a bit. Okay, what do we see? First off, I don't see the price anywhere, right? I don't see the image anywhere. I have something like a featured image over here.
Yeah.
Useless. I have ACF that has a price. So I can say .acf.price. I can also expand it. Yeah, that should give us the same. So let's briefly do that one. What do I have in my HTML? I just have a paragraph. Kind of dangerous. Only having a paragraph. The line above, when I said inner HTML of this content, is probably going to add paragraphs for us. So that's dangerous territory. Let's give it a class. And we're back. Copy a line. Whoops, already did that. So price, your text content is, we found the book I found ACF, and I found price. Wasn't it? So it says 0, 30, 20, and 123.99. You can also see I lost my dollar sign, right? Because text content overrides the entire content. We're wrapping it in a span. I could do it this stupid way of saying add a dollar sign at the beginning, but that sort of destroys our template, right? We already built a template that has the right information. I don't want to destroy that. So we are going to wrap that in a span. Remember, spans do nothing. They have no meaning. And then we just change our selector to be the span. And now it says dollar. Okay. The final thing is we need to find the image. And I can tell you, because we're out of time, it's not there. When we're working with these WordPress endpoints, we have these filters we could add to it, right? Like, give me page number 2, give me 100 items, give me whatever. If I want everything, I have to append this embed parameter. So right now we have, I don't know how many, 20. If I go to my JavaScript where I fetch the content, I apply this embed, which also gives me the author, the categories, everything. So let's go back and refresh. Whoa, we have more stuff. Down here we have underscore embedded. Under embedded we have VP featured media. Under that one we can see we have an array. So it's getting kind of hairy down here. And then inside, I think it's media details, we have so much stuff. This is where things get kind of horrible because WordPress has no idea what you did, so they are sort of auto-generating this content for us, which means it can be kind of hard to navigate. And we have 2 minutes to do so. Great stuff. So let's grab the image. It might be tempting to do this, but this is pure nonsense. An image tag does not have text content, right? The image tag has an attribute. There's an attribute called source, and we're going to set that to some value. Okay, let's see if we can find that value. So we're going to use console log for that. I have the book. Inside the book, I found the first part that was called underscore embedded. So this is this one. Inside that one, I have VP featured media. That's a strange one. But notice when I hover it, notice what it says. You see the heart brackets? It looks like an array. The thing is, I am not allowed to do what would make the most sense. I would like to say dot, and then it said VP what? But if you look at the colors, you can see it's off, right? It's supposed to be purple, and it's black. JSON objects does not allow this one. So what we can do instead is whenever we have a property, we can wrap it like this, and it'll be the same. That's a new thing. It's actually in the free code camp that you were supposed to have done, but you might not remember. Okay, let's save and see what we have now. Unexpected token. Yeah, that's a dot. So this is our object. It's an array. We only have one featured image, right? So if I want to grab the first item from an array, it's 0, back, refresh. So which one is which? Is this one, line 24? Now I have this object. We still haven't found the image. What can we see? Do we have any? We have the source URL. That's something. That's the original image. When we upload an image with WordPress, it creates like 3 different versions for us. Thumbnail, a big one. Herman showed you that. We can use this one directly, but that requires the user to upload a perfect image in the first place. And they don't. They grab it from somewhere just like we do. So we have to go inside media details. Let's do that. Media what? Media underscore. It's becoming kind of a long string, right? And then we have whatever we need. So I can go in sizes and then say full, medium, post, thumbnail, or post. We're going to go with medium, I think. So sizes.medium. Let's go back, refresh. Great. The main thing is you understand that we try to grab it one part at a time, right? Nobody in their right mind can write this right the first time. We just add and go closer and closer and closer. And then we have the thing we need, the source URL, which in this case I can see it's a thumbnail that is 210 by 300. So source URL. Save, back, refresh, and then we have it. And I can even click it. I say, this is my thumbnail. Okay, so this entire horrible string is our source. Save, back. So now we can, if we can remember the different sizes we had, there was one called full and one called thumb. I think it was. Nope, wasn't thumb. Let's see what it was called. Sizes, where are we? I'm console logging the wrong thing. Nope, I just didn't save. Stupid me. We have thumbnail, full, post, and something else. So I can go and say dot thumbnail to get the smallest version that WordPress creates for me, a square image. You can see some of the content is cut off, right? It's made dynamic. WordPress hasn't got like a small student employee installed, right? That crops our images for us. A computer does this, which once in a while it works great. In this case, for a book, it works horrible, right?